Quite the start it has been this weekend for the 26-27 Premier League season, with three major games that have shown us, that have given us an idea of what the season might actually turn out to be. And those three games I'm talking about are the Arsenal 3-0 Coventry game, the Hull City 2-0 Man United game, and the Brentford 3-0 Tottenham game. And two of those games took place yesterday. As I was recording the video yesterday, Man United were already 2-0 down. And it was let's say not the most surprising thing of all, because as I had said in that unreleased video, Man United not performing well is not the most surprising thing in the world. The 11 that they had, the players that they brought in this summer, well, Tielemans was a good signing. He didn't show it yesterday. But on the whole, he is a good signing. He's a great player. But what business Man United had done over the summer and what all we saw from them, it felt like they just weren't as ambitious as other clubs. Even when you look at clubs like Liverpool and Chelsea, who are looking a bit, let's say, not as hot as they will need to be. But they are looking quite ambitious in their approach still. And they have corrected their course. They have taken some really good decisions over the summers when it comes to the signings, when it comes to the appointments, and when it comes to their overall philosophy and approach towards the game. They have really been something to praise. But Man United, and even to an extent Tottenham, it feels like they are operating on a level below some other clubs. And it also reflected in yesterday's performance when it comes to Tottenham. Because as De Zerbi said, maybe they are a little behind, maybe they are a little late, as the season has already started and Tottenham are not up to the mark that they need to be at. But in the case of Tottenham, at least there is some hope. In the case of Man United, there is very little hope. The window is about to close and there isn't much business that Man United are involved in. Rashford has come back, which is a positive development for them, obviously. He's a great player, and as the development took place yesterday, he did replace Patrick Dorgu, who, let's say, didn't seem to be in rhythm at all. He didn't feel like the man who could lead this Man United team going forward. But Rashford, at least with his experience and his caliber, he could be the man to lead Man United forward. Well, at least in this season, if not in the future, because it doesn't seem like Man United are pursuing some heavy moves when it comes to the transfer market. They are close to signing Carlos Baleba, but how is he going to change the team? Is he going to completely change their lives? Is he going to revolutionize the Man United midfield? Is he going to completely change the trajectory of the team? I'm not quite sure about that. It doesn't seem to be the case at all. And these are not very positive signs when it comes to Man United. When it comes to Tottenham, you can have some hope. You do have some hope, actually, when it comes to Tottenham, that their signings would eventually go on to gel together, that the philosophy that De Zerbi is trying to implement and integrate into this Tottenham squad. Their squad is still anew and they are still signing some players. They have just agreed for a deal for Savinho, a deal which is perhaps one of the most inflated deals ever, let's say. They're also on track to sign Omar Marmoush, which I'm not quite sure how that fits into the Tottenham philosophy, how that would benefit Tottenham. I'm not quite sure about that. And when you look at Tottenham's performance from yesterday, you still would have doubts over how this team would go on to perform. Man United yesterday had this performance where it didn't feel like any of their players could move from their own position. It felt like they had the slowest, most rigid squad in this entire league, that none of their players were actually capable of running the pitch down. And if you have a player like Tielemans, who, with all the qualities that he does have, he doesn't have the quality of running the pitch down. And in that scenario, only Prime and N'Golo Kante could save you. And Man United don't have anyone like that. What are they even doing in the transfer market? It's really hard to understand. And yes, Michael Carrick is a good appointment for them. He should have had that job 4 years ago. Based on last season's performances alone, he should have had this job again. He does deserve that job. But he didn't put all his efforts into the game yesterday either. And now that they're going to go on to face some more difficult teams than Hull, it's really concerning for Man United fans. Because if they have this performance against Hull City, which perhaps was seen as the weakest team going into the season, they have lost to them in a really terrible fashion. It was an atrocious performance from Man United, actually. It was There was nothing inspiring at all. There was no positives from that game that you could take. If the trajectory for their season has to change, if they want to finish in the top four, many people were talking about Man United winning the league. That is simply out of the question. That is simply impossible. That is never going to happen. When you look at the squad that they have, when you look at the back four that they had last night, it simply isn't a back four. It simply isn't a squad that wins the Premier League, that wins any league, that wins any of the top leagues. This team cannot win any of the top 5 leagues in Europe. Neither the La Liga, neither the Liga, nor the Bundesliga, nor Serie A. It cannot win any of these leagues. And when Man United got dominated 4-2 by Ruben Amorim's Milan, that is still also going through major changes. It wasn't surprising at all. And I think Man United fans really overestimated their team during the summer. But I don't know how Man United are actually going to do this season, because the signs are not positive at all. These are worrying signs for Man United, their team, their manager, their coaches, their fans, everyone else, everyone involved needs to be really concerned. This team, if they finish in Europe, if they finish top 4, top 6, it would be a miracle, I think, for Man United. If they finish top 4, it would be a really huge thing. When it comes to Liverpool, when it comes to Chelsea, you do have some hope of these teams getting into those Champions League spots, those top 4, top 5, top 6 spots. Because they really do have a squad with the caliber of reaching that potential. Many people are also saying that Chelsea, many experts, let's say, are saying Chelsea could finish number 2, 3. And that is not the most outrageous of things to predict. Many people are predicting Liverpool to finish top 2, 3. That is not a really outrageous thing to predict. These are squads with the managers that do get you to those levels. But with Man United, we have seen in the past few years that they suffer for a season, that they change the manager, and they do get to that number 2, number 3 position. They might just win the FA Cup or the League Cup. And then in the next season, when they have the Champions League, they simply do not have the squad to compete at those levels. I'm sorry if there's background noise. The dog is barking and he just wouldn't shut up. But Man United, we've seen they simply do not have that squad. When after qualifying for the Champions League spots, they do not have the squad competing at those levels. And they absolutely fail to do so again in the next season. And the cycle just keeps repeating itself. And if they do want to break this pattern, if they do want to break this cycle, they really do need to do something extraordinary. And something extraordinary is just signing a couple of that really do reflect what a world-class squad, what a squad of a world-class club, one of the biggest clubs in the world, should look like. And that doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon. So these are really some worrying times for Man United and their fans. But when it comes to Tottenham, I do have hope that Tottenham might just go on to do something great in this season. With the signings they have made, they are really promising signings. But can they really gel together? Can they integrate De Zerbi's philosophy into their squad? Can they really come together as a team and function? And can they bring their A game into this season? Can they forget whatever happened in the past? Can they forget whatever stigmas and whatever general philosophies are attached with Tottenham? Can they simply forget about all that, and can they focus on this season and bring forth something that we've never seen before from Tottenham? Can they bring forth something that really inspires something in everyone? Because if you looked at yesterday's performance, if you watched even a few minutes of yesterday's performance, it really wasn't an inspiring performance at all. I mean, Tottenham weren't integrated. Tottenham weren't simply functioning as a team. And if you looked at the second goal that they conceded from literally Janelt, it was a huge error from keeper Kinski, who has been under a lot of unfair criticism, even an unfair decision from Igor Tudor in the Champions League game. But yesterday's performance doesn't really inspire anything at all, not even sympathy for these players. And it simply wasn't a performance that the team performed as a team. They didn't gel together. They didn't have a clear identity of what they had to be performing as. They didn't have a clear idea of what they needed to do in this game. It really felt like, as the Zerbi said after the game, that the season had come in a bit early for Tottenham and they still needed more preparation. But that is how the league goes when you are rebuilding and when you're spending money for the first time in 20 years. And when you, after all that has gone on at Tottenham, you are still in the phase of signing players for your team. I think it will take some time around mid-September. It will take a month. I think it will be after we are into the season, a month, that Tottenham will finally start to gel together and Tottenham will finally start winning those games, start finally looking like a team to beat. They will finally start looking like a team that could get those top 3, top 4 spots. And that is something that Arsenal are excelling at right now. They are the team to beat except PSG on this entire world, in Europe, on the planet. They are the team to beat except PSG. They are very coordinated. They have a clear sense of style. They have a clear idea of what they need to do as a team. They have fantastic signings in the form of Zolis and Embarass. They are really looking like the team to beat this season. And whichever team can have answers to Arsenal's questions, whichever team can challenge Arsenal at those levels, that would be the team that might just surpass Arsenal and win the league this season. But I don't think that is going to be so easy because, not just probably, they are definitely the favourites to win the league again this season. And the previous 2 performances, the Community Shield against Man City, the first game against Coventry, those are just signs of the same. And Arteta, he is probably going to lift the trophy for the second time now. Anyways, that is it for the video. If you want to read my articles on sports, TV, film, culture, food, whatever, the link is in the description below. Go check it out. And if you like the video, press like, comment what your thoughts were about match day 1. And I'll see you guys very soon. This is Arsh signing off again.